Good morning, everyone. It is shaping up to be a beautiful day here in Daytona Beach. We are getting ready to go for a walk on the beach, so I'll see you down there. Thank you, honey. Here we go. Which way do you want to go, left or right? See, these are the biggest decisions we have to make today. He's taking his sweet time. Right, he says. Okay, look at this. Absolutely beautiful this time of day. So, I'm gonna start counting my steps. So, I am glistening after a very short walk. Just a little stroll with my husband, but enough to get the blood flowing. So now a little reading and then out to the beach. Right, I am headed down to the pool. It's around 11 o'clock. I'm gonna sit here until Tim brings subs for lunch. So we'll have lunch by the pool and then we will head out to the beach. I have my vacation facial sunscreen on, and then I have my e.l.f. Whoa Glow tinted sunscreen on and my e.l.f. setting spray on. So my face is all covered. Just have to put some on my chest and my arms. After lunch, I'll get in my swimsuit and head out to the ocean. I'll share some shots of that with you. All right, here's this adorable little Point Hotel. You can still see they're doing some repairs from hurricanes to the beach ball. But look at this gorgeous day. You just could not script a better beach day than this. See you in a little bit. There were some lifeguard trucks behind me. Really cool looking with their big surfboards and everything. Perfect Florida beach day. In the high 70s. Slight breeze, mostly sunny. This pool is heated, 84 degrees. Lots of fun people here. Join me as I get ready for dinner tonight. See you in a little bit. I'm back. It's been a wonderful day in the sun by the beach. Right now I have my iPhone in the window, and I am looking out at a beautiful stretch of beach from the bedroom, and so I figured I would do a get ready with me and show you all the makeup that I brought with me for this trip. So I used all of the products that I told you about. First of all, I used the brand Vacation facial sunscreen. After that, I used the e.l.f. Whoa Glow sunscreen. After that, I used the e.l.f. spray with sunscreen. On my body, I used a combination of Copper Tone 50 and Hawaiian Tropic 30. The initial application was the Copper Tone, and then I went with the Hawaiian Tropic and reapplied, and I don't see any sun damage. So I was out in the sun for several hours, and so far nothing, so I'm really pleased with that. First, we're going to use our Milani eyeshadow primer. This is my very favorite eyeshadow primer. I think my second favorite out of the ones I've tried, which is a lot by now, I think my second favorite would be the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. So I just put a couple on my fingers, and I put this mostly on the mobile lid here, and then some in the crease and just a little up top. So it's a clear primer. It doesn't lay down a light base or anything like that, but I feel like the shadows they go on really smooth and blend really nicely on top of it, and I feel like I got a lot of lasting power. As I also mentioned in what's in my beach makeup bag last night, I have the Natasha Denona under eye corrector. This is the doe foot. Huh, that's a little crooked. Let's see here. The shade is C2. So this is a mildly peachy color. And I'm going to blend this out with my Anissa concealer brush. You could see just one dot how far that goes, so you do not need a lot of this. I am not going to use a makeup primer because the e.l.f. that I bought has sunscreen and I no longer need sunscreen. I wanted to try this, which is the Neutrogena Hydra Boost. So this is my moisturizer that I put on after my shower. It is a water cream and it just felt really good and soothing on my skin after having sunscreen on it for so long. So now that my corrector has kind of dried down, I'm going to put my concealer on. This is in the shade R5, which is Rosy 5. I believe Natasha Denona has more shades of her concealers and correctors than any other brand that I've seen so far. If there's someone with more shades, let me know. So this is the under eye concealer. It's more of a creamy beigey color. Now, I do believe I'm going to try to find a mirror from here on out. I have one right here. So we are going to go in with the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow. It has an SPF of 30. So although I am not going to be going out and laying in the sun anymore, we're going to be going in and out of restaurants. We'll probably do some shopping. We'll probably be walking different places. So it does not hurt to have a little extra coverage. And I'm putting probably too light of a layer on to be really beneficial as a super good sunscreen, but I don't need a lot of coverage. So this is just a little bit of insurance. I am going to apply this with my Anissa foundation brush. I'm going to try not to get my mirror in your way as I do this. I chose a shade that I felt was a little dark for me. What is this shade? Light beige is the shade that I chose, just in case you're wondering. The reason I did is because despite all of my sunscreen, I am going to get a little color on this face this summer, and so I thought that the Too Faced would be a great choice for when I'm a little bit darker. This is a really thin foundation, and so I think it'll be really nice for those hot, humid months here in Florida, because the humidity is so high that if you have something too heavy on, I know myself, I just kind of feel like my face is suffocating. And I'm also a very heavy sweater, so having a thin foundation, I believe, is going to be the best way for me to go. So we're going to go straight to powder now. I am going to use my Beauty Blender Puff, and I'm going to use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in light medium. I'm going to get some on my powder puff here, a nice layer, and then I'm going to rub it on my palm, and then I'm going to pat under the eyes. I have all of my makeup on the windowsill here in the bedroom in the order that I'm using it, so that I'm trying to stay nice and organized. I also found a nice treat here, the L'Oreal True Match. This is in Neutral 4. So I'm going to use this all over the rest of my face. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get my eyebrows in place. So the next thing that we are going to dip into is the Natasha Denona Hyper Natural Face Palette. This is very new, and I really have not had much of a chance to use this yet. Last night I dipped into the bronzer and the blush together on my cheeks just to freshen up my look a little bit. So for the bronzer, I'm going to use my BK Beauty 103 brush. So now I can use this mirror, hopefully not be in your way. So here is the bronzer. I just dipped into all 3 shades, and I'm using a nice fluffy brush. I don't want to sculpt. I just want a little sun-kissed bronze, a little evidence since my SPF worked so well that I was indeed in the sun today. So I'm using a nice fluffy brush to get a bronze look. I'm going to take this over the bridge of my nose. And I'm going to also swirl around in all 3 colors, and I'm going to get this on my forehead. Okay, here in my mirror in natural light, this looks pretty bronzy. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. I'm going to dip into both shades of the blush, and I found yesterday that the blush is pretty pigmented for my skin, so I can just use one application for both cheeks. The complexion is looking pretty good to me, you guys. I like it. Okay, so I told you that the only lip products that I brought were my Ravie Beauty lipsticks. Today we're going to use the shade Lily. This brand is spelled R-A-V-E, and it was started just a few months ago by Allie Glines here on YouTube. I purchased all 3 shades and the little denim bag. So this is called Effortless Lips because it is so easy to up the intensity. Watch this. Much more opaque. This formula is amazing. Of course, that doesn't surprise me because Allie loves lip products and Allie is amazing. So I wasn't surprised at all. And I think that this is such a pretty look for the beach. So now we're going to do eyes, and I brought 2 palettes. I brought the new Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette, and of course the Natasha Denona face palette. So this is the Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette. His first one was all warmer color mattes. This one, yay, is cooler color with neutrals as well. So I'm going to use a combination of the Makeup by Mario and the Natasha Denona. It's hard to show this in this light, but I think that the 2 palettes will look really, really pretty together. So why don't we start with a Rephr 15 Mini. We'll go into the lightest shade right here, and we're just going to kind of go right around the brow and kind of highlight the eyebrow. And I'm going to take a little bit even and put in the inner corner right here. Yeah, that's a beautiful inner corner highlight. I was thinking about a matte inner corner today, so I'm glad I decided to do this. So yeah, nice. So we're going to go right here to the next shade, keeping it really, really simple. And we're just going to start a very, very faint crease. Just maybe a shade or 2, very similar to the shade of my own skin. Okay, I am going to take a Rephr 15 Max now, and I'm going to go right here to the next shade, And we're gonna get a little bit more of a crease going here. So we're gonna go to the last color now on this row. And again, we're using the 15 Max. And again, on my particular skin tone, this is just really barely showing up at all. So far, not too much of anything. You can see how subtle this look is. Now I'm going to a 14 Max, and I want to go into this kind of cooler color right here. Everybody's been interested to try this one, and I'd like to try it on my cool skin tone. We're going to go a little bit lower in the crease here. And now I am getting some decent pigment. This is showing up really cool on my skin tone actually. This is almost looking like a light gray taupey color on my skin tone, and it doesn't look like that in the pan. So I'm kind of pleasantly surprised actually with that. It's really hard to get things to show up cool tone on me. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. So we're just gonna blend this out. Good. So now I'm going to go to this kind of neutral brown color again with the 14 Max. This time I'm just going to deepen the outer corner right here. All right, we got some depth there. Now I'll swirl to just kind of blend in with everything else. Okay, I like the way that that performed. Again, right here, packing it on. I want the majority of the color to be right here. And then when I feel like I have as much as I can deposited, I'll go really low in the crease right here. That's pretty. So we're going to close this palette for just a moment, and we are going to choose something from the Natasha Denona palette. I think I want to apply these two to the lid today. She suggests just using your finger. These are supposed to be good one and done shadows. So I'm going to take Every Day, and I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to start packing it on with my finger. And this is truly an everyday shade. It's a very soft, subtle shimmer. I love the tone. It goes with Mario's palette perfectly. It's a great companion. Obviously, the Natasha Denona has no mattes in it, and the Mario palette has no shimmers in it. Now this next shade right here, this is Dreamy, and this is a topper shade. So I am going to sprinkle this from the middle to the inner, and this gives you some massive impact. Yeah, this gives you that nighttime, very impactful shimmer. I think this is absolutely beautiful. And I think my light matte outer corner is going to look really good with this. Okay. Really pretty, you guys. These palettes are so different, but I love them both, each in their own way. We're going back to Makeup by Mario now. I am going to use a very small blending brush, and let's go back to this kind of cooler shade right here, and I'm going to apply this under my eye. There, you can see the difference, how much more drama it brings. I am going to go into this really deep dark brown right here. I'm going to use this as eyeliner on my upper lid. I'm going to apply it a little thicker on the outside and angle it in so that it kind of disappears toward the middle of the eyelid, giving me a little bit of a wing too. It's so subtle, but it really does make a big difference. So now we're going to do brows. I brought my e.l.f. waterproof brow pencil. I believe this is in the shade blonde. It's either blonde or taupe blonde. This is new from e.l.f. This is only, I think, $4. And it is a little bit of a thicker, you can tell it's waterproof, let me put it that way. So being at the beach, you don't need a lot of precision eyeliner. You don't need your brows to be super polished and dramatic. Here you've got beach hair and more bronzy looks going on for the most part. So you don't need a really particularly structured eyebrow look is the word I'm trying to say. So I'm going to also use my e.l.f. Wow Brow Tinted Gel. Give me just a little extra tint here, but I'm keeping them super natural looking. And last but not least, I am using Lash Princess waterproof mascara on the top lashes only. There we go. Love this mascara, you guys, and it's $5. All right, so now I'm just going to take my beauty blender and just bounce around. Just a damp beauty blender to pick up any extra product and blend everything out. And this is my beach date night look. I will get my hair done. I will get my dress on. I just dropped my compact, and I will meet you at Aunt Catfish's with the finished look. See you then. All right, we are on our way to Aunt Catfish's. This dress is just so adorable. Maybe I can get Tim to video the whole dress because it's so precious. We'll see you there. All right, we had a wonderful dinner at Aunt Catfish's. We got full bellies. We didn't go for an evening walk or anything like that. My husband's shoulder's bothering them. So we got some stuff from Walgreens, a heating pad and some instant ice. And I rubbed some coconut oil on his shoulder and tried to loosen it up. And now he's watching college basketball, and I'm getting ready to watch some of my favorite YouTubers before bed. I did get a little sun in spite of all of the SPF, but I've done my skincare for tonight. And so tomorrow we'll be back at it again, try to do our best to protect ourselves. But you can see with fair skin, even with SPF 30, 50, several layers, that Florida sunshine is no joke. So we will see you tomorrow morning. I have 2 more makeup looks to do over this weekend. I actually, when we were at Walgreens, got 2 new products, so I'll share those with you tomorrow. Let you know my thoughts on those. So I hope everybody has a good evening. Good night.